Okay, so we're starting on chapter 1, section 1. Okay? Chapter 1, section 1. This is our college algebra. So 1.1, we're doing it together. 1.1 through 1.2. Okay? We are going to omit piecewise. Okay? We will pick it up later on. All right? Piecewise and difference quotients. Difference quotients. This difference quotient is going to be very, very important, but we'll pick it back up with our piecewise and something else we'll add on to it. All right. So I'm just saying that so that if you go back and start looking in the sections, studying for the test or whatever, or preparing for class or any of that stuff, we are leaving out the piecewise functions and the difference quotients, and then we'll come back and pick them up. Okay? Yeah. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is slope. Okay? So when I say slope, tell me some things that come to mind.
Mx plus b.
Okay. So what is the variable for slope? M. Okay? So M is equal to delta y over delta x. The change in y over the change in x. How do you find the change in something? What do you do to it?
Move it.
Subtract it. Okay? You subtract it. Okay? So yes, slope is M. Anything else? Do not tell me y equals mx plus b. No, people. That is the slope-intercept form of an equation. All right? But that's not what we're talking about. So tell me what else you could call slope.
Rise over run.
Rise over run. I like that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Anybody got anything else? What about the rate of change? Very good. The rate of change. Okay? So we're going to find the slope. All right? One of the hints that I tell my kids to do is stack your points. Okay?
Wait, can I say
Stack your
diagonal?
points. What?
Can I say line? Or
Sure.
for slope?
To make you happy?
Yeah, can you
Alright,
put line
say it.
on there?
One. I'm not going to try that.
What?
I don't like to. Okay. So here we go.
But it's a
All right.
line.
So now, yes, we are going to find slopes of lines. Okay. So here we go. This line right here, what kind of slope does it have?
Positive.
Very good. You read a line from left to right, just like we read a book, okay? And when you read this line from left to right, he's going up, so he has a positive slope. This line right here,
Negative.
very good. All right. What about this line right
No. Horizontal.
here? No.
I mean,
Yes.
Horizontal.
That's what type of line it is, but I asked about the slope.
none.
0.
0.
That's what I
Okay?
meant by
His
none.
slope is 0.
Because
He does have a slope, okay? So you can't say none,
Oh.
all right? But it is 0. And it is, like you said, a horizontal line. All right? If I stood on this line with a pair of skis, I would not go anywhere. It has 0 slope, a horizontal line. What would that look like? Because obviously we're going to be finding slopes. So we're going to be using this slope formula right here. So
X does not change.
what would the fraction look like that gave me a 0? 0 over anything. 0 over any number in the world. Now, listen to me. If you leave it like this, what am I going to do? I'm going to mark it wrong, people, because that says you don't know what that is. But it is 0. 0 over any number is 0, except 0. How do you write the equation of a horizontal line?
6.
Y is equal
Y equals. Very good. So, look at this Y right here. All right? Everybody looking at the Y? All right? Keep looking at the Y.
Horizontal line.
Yes. This Y is an upside down H, and he is screaming at you that he is a horizontal line. All right? So, Y is equal to what?
MX plus B.
Whatever the current height is.
B.
Oh, I'm going to just say it's equal to a number. But specifically, the number will be the Y coordinate of any point that's on that line. Okay? Let me shut the door. one, what about this line?
Vertical.
Vertical. That's the type of line it is, so what kind of slope does it have?
Infinite.
Undefined. Undefined. It is a vertical line. Okay? What is his slope gonna look like when it's in that fraction?
A over
X
0.
equals.
Yeah, any number over 0.
Let's go.
Division by 0 is not defined. If you leave it like this, I will mark it wrong. You must tell me it is undefined. Okay? What's the equation of a vertical line going to look like?
X equals.
X equals. And it's going to be a number. And specifically, it would be the x coordinate of any point that lies on that line. Okay? So, another way to kind of look at these sometimes is, do you agree that slope is rise over run? Okay, so look at this line right here. If you try to count his rise, how much does he rise?
None.
None. You could do anything for the run, right? You could go to the right 1, you could go to the right 10, you could go to the right 42, 99, it doesn't really matter. But you're not rising any, so 0 over any number will always be 0. This is just the opposite. This time your rise, you could call it whatever you wanted to, but you're never running to the right. You're not going anywhere, your run is nothing. So then you have any number over 0, and that makes it undefined. All right, anybody got a question? Colton.
Say if it was a 3D plane, what would back be?
What? Back.
That would be
It would be, yeah, that's the z-axis,
What would
if that's
the,
what you're talking
no, what would
about.
like, it's undefined and 0, what would the other one be?
No, what
Well, if
0
it just
over
went
0?
Same as
straight
the
back, it would still have a slope of 0. I mean, yeah, it would still have a slope of 0, it'd just be a horizontal line. It'd just be not coplanar
That's
to
what
like
it
these
is.
lines right here, he would be going like this right here. Is that what you're talking about? It's not coplanar. Those are called skew lines,
It's like skews.
okay? All right.
Come on.
So let's talk about a couple of rules, not legal. These are things that are not legal in this classroom, okay? We're not talking about things that are not legal outside of school or even inside school, just in this classroom, okay? So the very first thing, I just want to make sure that you understand all this. I will count problems wrong where you leave stuff like this. No fractions within fractions. Okay? No fractions within fractions. In other words, you can't have a fraction over a fraction. That's not legal. I'll count that wrong. The next thing, no decimals. You were taught this in Algebra 2, but if you weren't in my class, I just want to make sure and emphasize this because I will ding you for this one, all right? So no decimals within a fraction. So you can't have like 3/4 divided by 0.5. No, you either need to write that as a fraction or write it as a decimal. When is it proper to use decimals? Well, yeah, in a problem, if I gave you a decimal in the problem, then it's legal for you to give me a decimal as an answer. All right? In real life word problems, we use decimals a lot, okay? Because most of the time we're going to be using a calculator for real life stuff. All right. So let's try some problems. We're going to do 3 right now. Example 1, we are going to find the slope.
Do you
Okay.
think people from other schools watch your videos?
But it has like hundreds of views, so like probably.
Yeah, there are, and there's some, but I don't know, y'all have weirdo
Save
names
this
for
as
your
celebrity.
YouTube stuff. So, because I get a notification when someone joins my channel, or whatever you call that. Subscribes, okay.
Subscribe down below, guys.
So I get a notification and there's some crazy
Have you
names.
seen Katie Carmel 3 to 1?
No, I
Alright.
don't know. Anyway, so, no, and that probably wouldn't have seen that because you and Trey decided that my videos were great.
Travis.
Travis, sorry.
Travis, turn around.
Trey.
I disliked every single one of your videos. I really didn't. That was only like one of them.
Yeah, I only
I
got
know,
one.
because I got a report. Said people, this is how many dislikes you have. And these are your comments. Like, oh, thank you.
What do they say in the comments?
I don't remember.
I think we said like,
They said this didn't do any good.
That's
Okay. You're trying to help me out, yeah. All right, so here we go. Are you ready? So these are my 2 points, -2, 0, and 3, 1. Now, if you were in my Algebra 2 class last year, this is what I always tell my Algebra 2 kids to do. You know we're going to use the slope formula, which is m is equal to delta y over delta x, the change in y over the change in x. All right, like Spencer said, we're going to be subtracting them. Y'all listen, if you try to look across like this, you'll make a careless mistake. So stack your points. I don't care which one you move. I'm going to put this one right here. And then I'm going to circle the y's. Anybody remember why? Because they go on top. And they're the very first. Y'all look, if you're looking at these points and the y's are not circled, the x is the first thing you come to. The most common mistake is for kids to put x's on top. Will you get the right slope if you put x's on top?
no.
No, you will not. Okay? So stack your points and circle your y's. They go on the top. Do I have to subtract them in any particular order?
Yes. I figured it out.
Y'all, it doesn't matter. You can go 1 minus 0 or you can go 0 minus 1. Here's what does matter. Whatever order you pick, you have to keep. So whatever order you start with on the top, you have to keep that order on the bottom. Okay? So do y'all want to say 1 minus 0 or 0 minus 1? Okay, 0 minus 1 is what I heard first. So if I say 0 minus 1 on the top, what do you have to say on the bottom?
-2 minus 3.
-2 minus 3. What is 0 minus 1?
-1.
Over what's -2 and -3?
-5.
-1 over -5 is?
1 over 5.
Okay, I'm going to show you that you could have flipped it around because some of y'all said 1 minus 0. If you say 1 minus 0 on the top, you have to say 3 minus a -2. Watch what happens when we do that. 3 minus a negative, that makes a plus, 2. 1 minus 0 is 1, and 3 and 2 make 5. So I get the same answer. Anybody got a question? Are y'all liking this?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the next one. This is D. My point, -1, 2, and 2, 2. Okay? You do it. Find my slope. Delta y over delta x.
Well, dang. Oh, see, that's weird now.
All right, is this a good answer? 0 over -3, or you might have had 0 over +3.
No, you have to put 0.
No, you have to tell me that that's 0. Okay? So if my slope is 0, y'all look, it didn't ask me this stuff, but I'm doing a little extension to this lesson, okay? So if my slope is 0, tell me what kind of line I'm talking about. Horizontal line. Okay? And what is the equation of a horizontal line?
Y equals
Y equals. And what would be the equation of the horizontal line that ran
-1
through
or
those?
2.
2.
2, sorry.
Why?
Because that's your Y.
That's my Y. He said, tell me what the Y is equal. People, if it's a horizontal line, the Y will be the same in every point. Okay? So Y is equal to 2. Anybody got a question? Okay, here's the next one. The point is 3, 4, and 3, -2. Be careful when you're circling your y's that you don't knock out negatives, okay? They are important.
I don't know, Miss Davis. I do kind of like the black background. Because all these other ones, they start with your hand in like the same position.
Yeah, it wouldn't show my hand either. Not my 900H spots, so I like it.
I don't see any.
No.
Alright, so you either got 6 over 0 or negative 6 over 0. And is that a good answer? No, what do you have to say?
Undefined.
Undefined.
I got the answer right, and I didn't see that negative, but I still got the answer right.
That's good,
Wait, so
sometimes
I
it
got-
works for you.
Since I got positive 6,
That's okay, it's still undefined.
got you. I did that.
Okay, so what kind of line would this be?
Vertical.
Vertical. And what would the equation of this specific line be?
X equals 6.
Very good, x equals 3. Does
Oh.
anybody have a question? Do y'all remember this from algebra?
Yes.
Yes, everybody good? Alright, so let's do the next page. So the next thing that we're gonna talk about is called the point slope formula.
I love this. Good idea, Sean. Thought you went to your bedroom so much.
The point slope formula. The point slope formula looks like this. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1.
Yep, I hated this.
You need to know this. You must use this. Okay? You must use the point slope formula. Hey y'all, if you see Mr. Dubose, he's not here today, but if
I
you
saw him
see
over
him,
the weekend.
if you see him, tell him, say, hey, Mr. Dubose, you need to get that Circus Pro from Miss Davis. We really need it.
I'll say it to him every time.
Okay? Every time. He'll get tired of hearing it.
Yeah,
and he'll come and fuss at me.
I'll tell him I'll give
I
him
can
some
get it.
bread pudding.
Alright, so here's the point slope formula. Notice of these things. X's go with X's and Y's go with Y's.
That's what
X's go with X's and Y's go with Y's. You don't put Y's with X's and X's with Y's. Those make points. They're not formulas. Okay? So here's something else. This Y right here and this X right here, those are hands off. You don't ever touch those. Those are the X and the Y that will actually be in your equation. Okay? The other X sub 1 and Y sub 1 will be the point that you're given, and the M will be the slope that you're given. Alright? So let's try a problem. Let's do example 2. We are going to find an equation of a line that passes through 1, negative 2, and has a slope of 3. Okay? So we're going to find the equation of a line that passes through 1, negative 2, and has a slope of 3. All right, are you ready? So we're going to use this equation. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. You will be required to know this equation. I will not give it to you on the test. All right? So if you don't know it, then you need to be writing it down a few times so you can memorize it. All right. So this point right here, this point is x sub 1, y sub 1, and this 3 is my m, or my slope. So I'm just going to plug it in. So I'm going to have y minus, what's y sub 1?
We don't know.
Negative 2, okay? Minus a negative 2 is going to make this become a what? Plus 2. Be careful that you don't think that the formula is a plus. The formula is not a plus, guys. All right? It is actually the slope formula in a different form.
Miss Davis,
So-
why that doesn't work anymore?
Wait. No, never mind.
Okay, so y minus a negative 2, which is y plus 2, is equal to what's m? 3 times x minus what's x sub 1? 1. Okay? Y'all listen to me. All you're doing is distributing and collecting. Okay? Distribute and collect. So we're going to distribute here. So I'll get y plus 2 is equal to, what's 3 times x? What's 3 times negative 1? Now I'm collecting my like terms. Do you see any like terms? See that little plain number, that constant? I'm going to subtract 2 here and here. So y is equal to 3x minus 5.
Wait, whoa.
Is that what y'all got? Alright, so there's more than one way that you could check this. I can look at it and tell that my slope is 3, okay? So I could also put it in my calculator. I could go to y equals, alright, I could go to y equals, and I could plug my equation in there, 3x minus 5. I could go to my table, alright? I'm looking to see, is this point on my table 1, negative 2? 1, 1, negative 2. And there it is right there. So I know that this is the equation that satisfies those
Are we
conditions.
gonna be able to use a calculator on that test?
Part of the test you will not, and part of the test you will. Alright? So.
That's okay.
So
Alright, here's my next example, example 3. Now remember this, that I'm using an older book because I chose not for the school to buy new books, but I looked at the new PreCal books, the ones that I liked, they were exactly like this one, but with updated data in it, okay? The page numbers were the same, the problems, I'm like, no, because mine look really good. We've taken good care of them, so I said, we'll keep them for another 7 years. So we've been using those books probably 11 years or
Oh,
something.
that's not bad.
So, and they look pretty good.
Health, it's like 78 years. Kicking.
All right, so I'm saying that because we're fixing to do a real life problem and the data is old, okay? But it'll give us something to talk about too. So during 2000, Nike, like y'all weren't even alive then, were y'all?
No.
Nike's sales, net sales, were 9.0 billion.
This sounds
Sounds
very
familiar.
familiar. I feel like we did.
No,
There's a problem that's just like this and uses the same info that was in our Algebra 2 book.
Yeah, it was like, how many shoes did they sell?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Okay, 9 billion. In 2001, they grew to 9.5 billion.
boy, only 500 million?
Yeah, so I asked the kids this morning, and I said, 0.5 billion, like, is that a lot? And some of them were like, no, not really. I'm like,
Dog, what you mean?
0.5 billion is $500 million, okay? That is a lot.
You didn't even have to ask
That
the
is a
question.
lot.
you knew.
That's fine.
So, we are going to write a linear. Now look, think about it. All this word linear means is that I'm going to have an x to the first, right? There won't be any x squares. That will be quadratic, all right? Write a linear equation giving net sales y. Now, they're just, all they're doing is telling me what's going to be y in my equation, okay? So can I pick anything to be y? No, they picked it for you, okay? So my net sales are my y in terms of year, which will be my x, okay? Now, if we're going to use the point slope formula to write this equation, I need a point and a slope, right? They didn't say anything about slope here, so could I use 2 points and find the slope? All right, so from this information, I am going to get 2 points. Remember that my year will be the x and my sales will be the y. Tell me what the first point is. 2,000 and 9 billion. Okay? Now, is it important for me to keep in my head that this 9 represents 9 billion? Yes, because that word billion is a life changer, okay? I'd be gone today. No, I might not. I might stick around for y'all, but definitely at the end of the year, I would say.
Miss Davis gonna
see
be
you.
rough. No, Miss Davis gonna pull the other one. My husband threw up last night. I'm gonna be back for the rest of the semester. I'm seeing y'all later. That's it.
Bible school.
Okay, what's my second point?
2001, 9.5.
2001, 9.5. Okay, so how am I gonna find the slope?
Subtract.
Alright, so there's my y's. I always write slope is delta y over delta x. Why do I do that?
Keep a reminder.
That's right, so I remember that y goes on top and x is going on bottom. That is the most common mistake, okay? Somebody's gonna make it. Is it gonna be you? So, on the top, I'm gonna put 9.5 minus 9, which means on the bottom, what do I have to write? 2001 minus 2000. So you can pick any order that you want to, but you have to keep that order. So I got 0.5 over 1. Is this legal?
No.
Y'all, this is not legal. Can I write it as just 0.5?
Yeah.
Yes, 2 reasons. Give me one.
Because it is,
Yeah, it gave me a decimal in the problem, so evidently decimals are legal. Okay, the other one, it's a real life problem. I said we were gonna use decimals sometimes in real life. So tell me what this means as far as a slope is concerned, because if I go into my Nike sales meeting and start talking about the slope, they're gonna be like, what is she talking about? Tell me what it means.
every 1 year, you're going up $500 million.
Okay, so every year, his sales are increasing $500 million, $500 million. All right, very good. So now we're gonna use our point slope formula. Y minus Y1 equals M times X minus X1. Okay? So, I need a point. Whoa, I got 2 points. What am I gonna do?
Pick one.
Yeah, pick one of them, people. I don't care which one you pick. They're both going to be on the line. Okay? So you can pick either one that you want. I would try to stay away from fractions, decimals, negatives.
Nine.
All right, I'm going to pick the nicest point. That's going to be this guy right here. So actually, this is going to be, I'm doing this. I'm picking this guy, 2009, and my slope is 0.5. So this is going to be my x sub 1 and y sub 1. All right? So I'm going to say y minus, what's y sub 1? 9. Is equal to, what's m?
0.5.
Times x minus, what's x sub 1?
2000.
Distribute and collect, distribute and collect.
Does it
That's all we're
matter?
doing, people.
Does it matter if you would have picked the other one?
Nope, you would end up with the same answer. Okay, so you got y minus 9 is equal to 0.5x minus, what's half of 2,000?
1,000.
All right, finish the problem, guys. Finish the problem.
Oh wait, that's 911, not
Oh, man.
that. My fault.
I did that right at first and then I fixed it and I had to
Okay,
fix it again.
so I should have gotten y is equal to 0.5x. Y'all listen to me. I'm gonna bet you, all right, that at least one person in here wrote minus 1009.
Who was
Okay?
it?
You'll know them because very slyly they'll pick up their eraser and start erasing, but not while you're looking at them. All right, these are unlike signs. Be careful. Unlike signs, you have to subtract them and take the sign of the larger. So negative 991.
Who was
Okay,
it?
so there's my equation.
Who was it, Miss Davis? Who did you see?
So I don't know. I try not to look around. All right, so here we go. Here's my question. What am I going to use this equation for?
To find how many shoes you're selling.
Okay, so I can use it to predict my sales, right? Okay, so what are the sales
Insanity.
in 2016?
Oh.
Okay, what are the sales in 2016? So, tell me what I'm gonna do.
Plug in 2016 for your X.
Very good. I'm gonna plug in this X value, all right, for this X right here. So Y is gonna be my sales, so Y is equal to 0.5 times 2016 minus 991. What'd y'all get?
17.
17 billion. 17 billion. Okay? Now, I want to talk about anybody got a question? No? Okay, I want to talk about two very important words. Okay? One is called extrapolation.
Cumulative. I don't know, I just.
And one is called interpolation. Okay, extrapolation and interpolation. Now listen to me, people. These are math words, okay? So I can just tell you kind of roundabout what we're talking about, and you can figure out which one is which, all right? So one of them has to deal with predicting inside your data, your given data, and one of them has to do with predicting outside your given data.
That's the interpol.
Which one is outside? Yeah, extrapolation. This is exit, outside. Okay? So this is predicting outside your given data. Okay? Interpolation, inside. Okay? That's predicting inside the given data. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because this is very, very important. Y'all, lots of math stuff is used for predicting and trying to figure out what's going to be like, what's it going to do. If we're investing, okay, if we're investing in a retirement plan or just an investment program, am I going to be looking at what their past performance has been?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. If their past performance and they've been making like 2% and 3%, I'm not investing in that. Okay? I'm shooting for them making 10%. And lately, good night, the stock market, you could be busting out a 30%, 35%.
Hey,
People, it could be amazing.
all
All
I'm
right.
saying, once it goes up, it's gotta come down sometimes, so y'all be careful.
Yeah, you do. You have to be careful. Okay, so let me ask you a question. When we predicted this 17 billion, did we interpolate or extrapolate? Right. This 2016 was outside my given data. I was given between 2000 and 2001, a very short time period, okay? But I did extrapolate. So here's the danger in extrapolating. So when we extrapolated, did we take into consideration what happened with Nike a few years ago? Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a
Did we take that into account?
False. I support.
Did you take that into account? Did this equation take that into account? No, it didn't. Did that affect Nike sales? Oh, drastically. Okay? Drastically it did. So it doesn't take that kind of, what about if we got involved in a war? Would that affect Nike sales? Okay, so extrapolating, while we do have to use it sometimes, it is dangerous. And the farther out that you extrapolate, the more dangerous it is. Okay? So if you're predicting long, 10, 15 years out, you better be careful because you don't know what all's going on.
Hey guys,
Okay.
Apple's down, 0.162.
Okay.
In the world.
What, is the milk stream?
Yeah, right now.
I'm not gonna get it.
Okay.
Home Depot is up the.
No, it's not, it's not, it's 5 to 6. It just goes up like 5%.